My name's Jackie Montefiore. I'm a GP and founder of Sante Medical here in Brisbane. And I'm also a mum to two small children. So before becoming a doctor, I used to be a dietitian. And one of the jobs I had in that role was in a weight management clinic. But I found over the years that despite having all the education and experience to help people lose weight, I was finding in my early 30s, managing my weight, my own weight, was becoming more and more difficult. I would try and cut my calories and increase the exercise, and I even went as far as to ask some of my dietitian friends to write me a meal plan that would be low calorie, to have something to stick to so I could lose weight. But I was just finding it more and more difficult over time, and that got a lot harder than with pregnancies and trying to lose post-baby weight. One day when I was on maternity leave after having my second child, I came across the now infamous Robert Lustig 2009 video called Sugar, the Bitter Truth. Definitely watch it if you haven't watched that one yet. I also had a look at the Diet Doctor website, and it just suddenly hit me like a ton of bricks that there is actually good science and physiology to show that it's more the refined carbohydrates and sugars in food or in our diets that cause us to gain weight, and not necessarily the fat per se, or just being lazy and eating too many calories. So I was really gobsmacked, and I went down this rabbit hole of watching these videos by people like Tim Noakes, so really educated people, highly respected academics who have written textbooks explaining the physiology of why a low carbohydrate diet works to help people lose weight, and the science to support its effectiveness, and then also the history and the politics of why this approach isn't widely known still at the moment. And so on a whim, while I was away on holidays, what I decided to do was just give this a go. And I was really skeptical. I was, thinking this is not going to work. But I just decided, look, just to humor myself, I'm going to try and at breakfast, I'll not eat the toast and I'll just eat the the bacon, the eggs, and the tomato and the mushrooms. Lunch, I'll have a salad with a creamy dressing and instead of a sandwich. Dinner time, instead of a pasta meal, I'll have some steak and veggies and a knob of butter on top of the steak. And I just thought if I get hungry during the day, I will have some berries and a little bit of cream or some macadamia nuts. And so that's what I did. I just did that, started that on a whim while we were away on holidays. And initially I felt terrible. I had extreme hunger, shakiness at times. I had really bad constipation and I just wasn't able to do my usual running. But then after a few days, I started to feel a lot better. My energy levels picked up, and over the coming weeks, I found that my post-baby weight was just falling off me effortlessly and without me trying to maintain willpower or go hungry in between meals or exercise crazy amounts. And these were all the things I used to do to try and control weight. So I didn't have to do any of that anymore. And I just thought, this is so easy. How did I not know about this? Being a dietitian and a doctor. And, I need to tell people about this, but I want to make sure it's safe. So that then sent me down a rabbit hole of learning about the safety of the low carb, high fat diet or keto diets, and, looking into those areas of concern, I suppose, that people have. So the effect of cholesterol and all that sort of stuff. And once I was satisfied that it was safe, or no less safe than the conventional approach, I thought, I'm going to try this on my patients. And so I got back from maternity leave and I made a one-page handout and I started to instruct my patients on how to do the low-carb diet. And look, to be honest, when I told them initially to reduce refined carbohydrates and embrace natural fats and eat unprocessed foods to satiety, some of them looked at me like I had two heads. But some of them ran with the advice and achieved fantastic results, losing measurement of their waist and reducing their blood pressure and just feeling a lot better, obviously losing weight on the scales. Sometimes they, needed to come off medications like blood pressure medications. And I just became so passionate about offering this as an option for patients struggling with their own weight and their metabolic health. And so much so that I opened Sante Medical, which is a clinic in Brisbane that specializes in this area on using low carbohydrate diets to help people lose weight and regain their health. And that's obviously where I am today and where I am right now. So bring us forward to today. And I'm always looking at ways to try and bring this approach to more people in a cost-effective way and to help them lose that weight and get their health back. And because the reality is not everyone finds it easy, like those few people that, I would see 3 months later and they'd done really well. And some people do really struggle with their own psychology. They kind of self-sabotage and get in their own way of getting good results. And so I realized that in order to get the best results for patients, there has to be a lot of good support. And part of that is some good coaching to help troubleshoot and to help people stay on track and keep with it, because that's the important thing to do. And last year, I was really lucky, just a fortunate set of events to be introduced to the wonderful health coach in Melbourne called Tracy McBeath. And I appeared on Tracy's podcast earlier this year a couple of times, and off recording, we hit it off right away. We actually met up in Melbourne and went for a coffee, and we were just chatting and could have kept talking for hours. And so some of what Tracy has been doing, I just found really incredible. And I admired what she was doing so much. I asked if she would help me run an online program to help people incorporate or get the full advantage of a low carbohydrate or a keto diet in their own life on an online platform. And because having that education is one thing, but then you also want the support and the troubleshooting to be able to implement it. And so I thought the most cost-effective way of doing that for people in the long term is a membership, and they pay like a gym or like Netflix. You pay a monthly amount and you get all that education and support and meal plans. And so for that, I created what's called the Sante Circle online program to do that. And so I just welcome you and thank you for your interest in the Sante Circle. This is such an important step that you've taken to take control of your health, and I really commend you for that. I look forward to being with you along this journey and giving you as much support as I can, and also myself benefiting from the expertise and the wonderful experience of Tracy McBeath. And I'm so lucky that she has joined me in this journey and helping you guys achieve your best ever health. So thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you as time goes on. Okay, bye.